Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. This is part 2 of how to track your account balances in Microsoft Access. If you have not watched part 1 yet, please go watch that first before watching this one, or you're not going to understand what's going on. Today we are going to make sure we set up an editable query for our account form. Then we're going to build the account form. Then we're going to set up some formatting for these numbers so the negatives show up red like that. But we're not going to use conditional formatting. We're going to use regular number formatting, which I think is cool. And then we're going to set up a single form. I forgot to put that on the slide. We're going to set up a single form with the additional details, the account number, the routing number, some notes. So you can double click on each one of your accounts here and open up this form on top of it. And you can see this stuff here too. Then we'll do some conditional formatting for the accounts. I only did a couple of them here, but you see what, you get the point, right? Okay, here we go. Before we get started though, if you don't know how to make a relational combo box, that's where you pick a value from another table or query, go watch this video first so you understand this before we continue. Okay, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Did you miss me? Between recording yesterday's video, which I just recorded about 20 minutes ago, but we'll call it yesterday's video, and now, I realized that I really do want this to be editable, because the whole point of having it like a spreadsheet like this is because I want to be able to come in here and say, oh, okay, this was now changed to whatever. This was now changed to something else, right? I want to be able to click in here and edit this. That's the whole point of this. It's to do my daily balances and all that. And I don't want to have to double click on this to open up a single form with another record. I want to be able to change things right in place. So we are going to keep this because we do need this calculate. Where is it now? We do need this transaction total calculation so we can calculate our actual balance. And I really think that it's going to be faster if we have this aggregate query because, okay, if we don't have the aggregate query, we'd need to use a dsum in place of this, okay? And dsum is going to have to run for each one of these records. There's 6 of them. Imagine if you had 60, right? And it's going to have to go through your entire transaction table and sum those all up. Yeah, for a small database, it's not going to be that noticeable. But if you got a bigger database, like I said, it'll take significant time, especially over a network. Now, if we keep the aggregate query and we use dlookup in another query, what's going to happen is this aggregate query is going to run once. It's going to generate those totals quickly. Then we can use dlookup in a second query to look up that transaction total based on the account ID. So that's going to look up one record, one record, one record, one record. Yes, it's still slower than the aggregate query by itself, but it's going to be faster than dsum. Now, I haven't tested this. This is my hypothesis. Based on my almost 30 years of experience with Access, I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. This would make an interesting research project, hint, hint, if any of you want to try it. Aggregate query by itself versus a regular query with dsum to get this record, or to get this value, versus what I'm going to do is have the aggregate query and use dlookup to pull that value out of the aggregate query. Those 3 things I'd be curious to see. I bet you this is faster than dsum though. You'd need a pretty big database with probably at least tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of records. And I would run it over a network to really get a feel for the speed. But that's just my hypothesis. That's what I'm thinking, and I'm going to stick with it. So we're going to still keep this account Q, but I am going to rename it to account total Q. Whoops, not design. I want to rename. Rename account. We're going to call this account total Q. And I'm just going to grab this and paste it over this guy. So I don't have to do the whole thing. Ah, there. Okay, now I'm going to make another query. This will be the real account Q, and I want account Q to be editable in place. Okay, so query design. Bring in your account T. Bring in all the records. Okay. Now, by adding dlookups and stuff over here, we don't make this so that it's not editable. It's that joined the aggregate query that makes the other query not editable. So here I can say that my transaction total. Actually, let's call this transaction. Yeah, that's simple enough. Let's zoom in. Shift F2. Transaction is going to be dlookup. I want to look up the transaction total from the account total queue, where the account ID equals account ID for this record. All right, and if I run that, it's really quick, but I only got 6 records. But you can see there it is. Okay, and again, we got to convert that to currency. So we don't have to, but I want to have it look like that here. All right, looks good. Transactions right there. You know what? Let's call it transaction total. That shouldn't be a problem because we can refer to it differently here because transaction total is inside quotes inside the dlookup. So it shouldn't cause any problems. Yeah, that's good. Keep the fields the same. All right, so the next one, we can literally just copy this and paste it over here. And then this one is going to be, what's the other field? Actual balance. And we're going to look up actual balance. There's 2 lookups per record, but you save this account queue, but our query stays editable. See, I can still edit, I can still add new ones, and it will just use lookups for this stuff. That's what I want. Okay? Okay. If you want to learn more about this record set not updatable stuff and how a query becomes not editable, well, go watch this video here, and that will explain that in more detail. All right, now it's time to start our account form, which is going to look like this. All right. So let's close this puppy down here. Now I've got a default continuous forming. The more I'm thinking, the more I don't really need the rest of this stuff because I was going to keep it around in case I wanted to pull pieces out of this stuff, but it's just taking up space, and I've got blanks already in here. So this, yeah, that main menu will keep, and you'll get rid of the order stuff. So I don't need those. Delete that stuff. And I don't need that. I do want my macros, my global module. I don't need customer, order detail, order invoice. We can get rid of those. They're just taking up space at this point. And I don't need contact, customer, order, and order detail. Okay. Yeah, I was going to wait till the end to clear this stuff up, but yeah, okay, there we go. Looks good. So I'm going to base my account form off the continuous form, so copy and paste that. This will be the account F. Open you up. It's pretty bland. Design view. All right, this is going to be based off of that account Q. We'll change the record source over here. Account Q, that's the editable one. Okay. I'm not going to bother showing IDs on here. We don't need it. So I'm going to delete you. Actually, I'm just going to delete. Let's do this. Pull this down. Let's bring in the fields we want. Add existing fields. Okay. This we don't need. This we're going to make a combo box for. So I do want sort order, account name. I'm holding down the control key, by the way. Account number I don't need on this screen, or the routing number. That's something that you might want to have a, show me the details for this account kind of thing. Or you could put them down here in the form footer. That's up to you. And maybe it's like notes and stuff. Yeah, let's do that. We'll put those down below. So I'll bring those in too. Why not? Credit, balance, pending, date updating. Okay, this and that. So we want all this stuff in here. So bring it in, drop it. Delete the labels. Okay, and we're going to line this stuff how we want it. So sort order can go over here. We don't need a gray field. Sort order on the left like that. This we don't need. The account name can go here. Yes, you're going to watch me do some formatting. Sorry about that. The type's going to go next to it. Account number and routing number. Let's throw that in the footer. And I forgot to put a notes field in here. We got to add notes too. I put notes in like for credit cards. I'll put a note in there like, received a credit update on January 1st or whatever. So I know You know how, because you don't want to ask for a credit increase too often. You know, so this way I'll know. Okay, I just got one 6 months ago. Wait, right? And you might not want this stuff visible at all too. That's up to you. Totally up to you. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I don't. Let's not put those on there for now. Okay. Credit. Go about there. And these will be smaller numbers, especially for my accounts. All right, balance. Pending. Let me bring these all up here. Pending. Come here. Sit there. One thing that I don't like is I got to select all of these. Right click, size to grid. Because when you pull them off of this thing, they come in just slightly larger than the default grid settings. Okay, like that. Date updated is going to go all the way to the right. Okay, so we got balance, pending, transactions, and then the actual balance, and then date update. Okay, and here's where the type's going to go. Bring that bottom up. So, close that. I don't want purple for this, just while I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of doing things in like no particular order. Let's go green for this form. Green because it represents monies. All right. This will be the sort for the labels, right? You could do one big label across the top. I often do that. In this case, I'm not gonna because I might later want to make these sort labels. I got a whole separate video on that. Account. Here, paste. Here, paste, 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 paste. Okay, so this is going to be the type. This will be credit. Balance. Pending. Actions. Transact is good enough. Actual balance. Let's put actual. And then we got to put the date. Let's just make all these a little bit smaller. Whoopsie. Come here. There we go. All right. Credit. Balance. Pending. Yeah, I know it's a little boring, but you know what? Honestly, when I skip this and go, okay, I'm just going to format this now, and then I do it off camera and I come back, I get more people complaining about that. So if you're a little bored, put me on fast forward. I shouldn't be too long. But I hate having people get confused of what I did. So I want you to be able to see everything that I do on camera. Well, most of it at least. All right, so type we're going to slide in here. Let's make that combo box, form design. Combo box, drop it here. I want to look up the values in a table or query. Next. That's going to come from transaction type. Bring over both of those fields. Next. What do you want to sort by? The account type. Next. That's what it's going to look like. The key column is hidden, but that's the value that gets stored in the table, right? We've been through this. Next. Store that value in account type ID in the account table. Next, what label do you want? Doesn't matter. We're going to delete it and hit finish. All right. Delete that label. Slide you up into here. There we go. And that's our relational combo box. That's one of the prerequisites. If you've never done that before, then go back and watch that video. All right, some formatting. We got to do our tab order. So click here, go tab order, auto order, and I can see right there combo 21. I always forget the wizard doesn't let you name that box, so combo 21's got to get changed. This guy. Account type combo. Okay. Let's shrink this up, bring this over. I like to leave a little bit of room over here for scroll bars just in case. Probably won't need it, but save it, close it. Let's take a look at it. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, we got some aligning to do. Now, I normally hate layout mode, okay? Once I put VBA code in a form, I never use layout mode again. But since we haven't put any code in this form, layout mode's okay for now. It lets you see things as they are on the form with some layout in here, and you can make some basic changes, like I can left align that. I can right align these guys. It looks like I might have to go into design view and change those. Let's see. Design view. Yeah, I got to make these the width right there. Okay. All right. I think I did these all the same. That, and then the date got to be. Yeah, layout mode. I've had it completely wreck forms because it just ganked all the code behind it. Now, granted, that was back in a 2007 database when layout mode first came out. And yeah, I don't like new features. So I stopped using layout mode for most things. Now, as I mentioned in the other video, I generally do not use pennies in here. So let's get rid of those. Design view. Let's do. Let's open up the properties for all of those. Right click properties. Decimal places we're going to set to 0. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, and this here too. We're going to make sure this is formatted as short date, which I am using the ISO date standard. It's still too small. If you don't know what the ISO date format is, it's this. It's universal. Everyone on the planet should use it. I'm on a mission to change everyone's mind that you should use this because we're in America. We do the stupid month, day, year. Europe does something a little more reasonable, day, month, year, but it's still backwards. It should be year, month, day. Everyone knows it. Everyone can agree on it. It's you think of the year first, and the month, and the day, right? Okay. It'd be stupid. It'd be like writing seconds, minutes, hours. Who would do that, right? That's small to big. No, go big to small. And then the whole thing works out perfectly for computers too. Year, month, day, hours, minutes, seconds. Okay. So yeah, this all needs to get bigger. We could get rid of the dollar signs in here too. Let's come in here and set this format manual. I'm going to set this to, let me highlight these. Again, go to properties. And I'm going to make the format like this. It's going to be pound, comma, pound, pound, 0. Just like that. All right, save it, close it, close it. Let's see what we get. That's what I want. Looks better. All right, what does that do? Well, let me go back in here. Select again, right click, properties. All right, so this says these are optional. I want the thousands separator, and I always want to see a 0 in the first digit. Okay, and moving on, we can do, I've got a whole video on this too. Put a semicolon here, okay, and do this for the second one. Do the same thing in parentheses, and then after that, in square brackets, put red, like that. Okay? Hit OK. Save it. Close it. And then open it back up again. And there you go. Your negatives are in red. You want to learn more about that stuff, go watch this video. There's all kinds of stuff. So you can format the greens. You can format the nulls. Okay? And all of this is without conditional formatting. This is just right in the format for that cell itself. I can tell we're going to need to make these just a tiny bit larger, though. I mean, maybe not. This might fit. This will go just shy of a million. If you're dealing with balances in the millions, then this won't fit. Sorry. You'll have to make it bigger. Or if you got that much in your accounts, you can pay me to do it. And yeah. All right. The date updated does need to get a little bit bigger, though. Let's see. I don't want to get too big here. Let's go back. Form view. There we go. Perfect. We will add some conditional formatting of this later because I like to see, like, I will update this when I update my balance here. And one of the tricks that I'm going to add later is when I double click on one of these fields, it updates the date. Because this way I can see which accounts I haven't manually gotten the balance information from. Right? And like I said in the other video, like PayPal and Amex and Capital One is another one I use a lot. You know, those have transactions coming out almost every day. A lot of them are automated, like DoorDash, for example. But, you know, so I check those daily. And so every day I'll come in here, type in the new balance, and the date updates. And I can see which accounts I haven't checked in a while. So we'll make it so if it's like 10 days old, it'll go to yellow. If it's 30 days old, it'll go to red, that kind of stuff. We'll be doing that in a future video, but that's coming up. And if you want to make these green, like I did in the other video, you can too. You can put a green in that format instead of red. I kind of like this, though. I kind of like this. I've been used to looking at my spreadsheet, which is this, for the past couple of years with the green backgrounds and stuff. But honestly, this is a little easier on the eyes. I think I like this better. And the red still shows, it still stands out as being negative. I think I'm going to keep this. I really like this. Okay, next up, I think I am going to make a single form to have more information on it. And so I can double click on this account, for example. It'll open up a single form that's got, its details, that account number, routing number, notes, the other things. Plus, for the extended cut, the members, what I'm going to do is we're going to have it so you can specify the color and load up the conditional formatting based on the color that you specify for that particular account. I've covered it in extended cut before. We're going to integrate that into this database. But for now, let's make that single form. All right, so I'm going to close this for now. I want to add in the account table, I want to add those notes because I do use those notes a lot. And yeah, not memo. See, I'm still, I know they changed it to long text. I still type memo every time I come in here. And yes, I know I try to keep all my fields singular, but notes is the exception because I've been calling it notes since day one, and that's just not going to change. That's a bad habit, but I'm sticking to it. It's my only exception usually. All right, now I'm just going to take the account F. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to call this account. Let's make it detail F, account detail. Because what I'm going to do is we don't need all of this stuff on that form. In fact, we don't even need the date. All right, that's going to be updated on the other form. Okay, in fact, I don't even want the sort order in here. All I want is the account name. I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to cut it, click on this, and paste it. That way it attaches to that label. All right, let's format that as black. Okay, account name, account type. We do want that here. Cut, paste, format, paint, slide it over. Okay. All right. Then we'll bring in, let's see, we don't need the header or footer here. And since we don't need those totals, this form will actually load faster if we just base this on the account T. All right, let's bring in the other stuff that we don't have on the other form. So I'm going to bring in the account number, the routing number, and the notes. Put those right under here. We'll put the notes over here like I always do. Oh, see, this is one of the things, this is one of the reasons I wanted to keep the customer form around, because I could format that notes like I always do. But let's do this. Format, double click, bang, bang. Okay, we'll call this ACCT no. And just routing. If you'll know what those mean, right? All right, so there, resize, slide over. Spend so much time making these look perfect. Okay, notes like this for now. We're going to add color in the extended cut. All right, that. This. All right, close that. We're going to align all of this stuff left. We're going to change this to the light yellow that I like to use, which is that, and then lighten it up just a bit. There. There you go. There's your notes. Maybe change this background just a touch. Let's go. See, I'd like to stay away from those theme colors too. There we go. Better. Save it. Now, I'm going to make this form modal. So it opens up on top of the other one. Okay. And I don't want the user scrolling through accounts in here. I want you to open them up from the other form. You can let them scroll if you want to, but it causes problems sometimes. So we're going to turn off scroll bars. We don't need them. We're going to turn off navigation buttons and record selectors. No, yeah, we're going to turn off record selectors. To delete something, we'll make our own delete button. I don't like letting users delete stuff. In fact, that brings me back to this guy. All right, we're gonna make some changes over here too. So, on this form, I don't want users to delete or add records directly from here. So we're going to turn off allow under data. We're going to turn off allow deletions and allow additions. Again, we'll make buttons for both of those things. It's just, you're asking for problems if the user can click here accidentally and hit delete, right? And I know that this looks like it's not editable anymore, but it is. You can still come in here and change stuff, which I do want that. That's a big deal. And we're going to deal with this too, because notice when I just changed that, this didn't update until you leave the record. And even that didn't update. Might have to hit F5. Yeah, okay. So we're going to fix that in a future video. You got to do some refreshing after this stuff is edited. And I don't mean like refreshing like, 7-Up. All right, so how do I get to that account detail F? And this shouldn't be continuous. That's a good thing I did that. Not layout, design. Turn this back into a single form. Format. Nope, not data sheet. I never use data sheets. I never use split forms. Don't ask me. So a lot of people are like, how can I do this with a split form? You can't. Data sheets and split forms are almost no better than using a table or query, which we don't do. Single forms and continuous forms, that's all. Don't send me your questions if they involve a data sheet or a single form. Okay, I'm going to make a video on just that topic. Don't use split forms or single forms. Or, yeah, whatever I just said. All right, so we're going to use a little code to open this guy. I like to put it in a double-click event behind that. Design view, right here. Event, on double-click, right there. ... brings up the code builder. First bit of code in this database. Real simple one. First, we're going to meet out refresh. It's going to refresh the record you're on in case you've made changes. Then we're going to do command open form, account detail F, comma, where the account ID equals the account ID on the current record. Even though it's not on the form, it's still in the underlying record set below the form, so it should work. It should find it. It should be okay. Come back over here. Let's open up that account again. Double click on this one, and it pops up right there. And you can probably slide this down if you want. One thing about a modal form is that if you are in design mode, it will always hide the navigation pane, but your users won't see that anyways if you set it up right, so it'll just look like that. Or when I'm developing a database, it's open, but even when I'm using my own databases, I almost always have this closed, so it doesn't look all wacky. All right, and normally I would color this stuff like I say in a lot of my other videos. I color stuff blue if you can click on it to do something, but I'm not going to in this case because, like I said, in the extended cut, we're going to make these colored based on this stuff that I wanted to do that earlier. We're going to do that in the extended cut. Now, non-extended cut people, I am going to show you can apply that conditional formatting if you want to directly in here, but it's not as nice as what I'm going to show in the extended cut. For example, come into here, count name, go to format, conditional formatting, and you can add your rules in here manually. Okay, new rule, field value equal to, and then you can put in here PayPal. All right, in quotes. Okay, and then drop this down, pick the blue you want, put the white, hit OK, hit apply, hit OK, close it, save it, open it back up again. All right, there's your PayPal, there's your conditional formatting. But you got to manually do that in design mode based on the actual value of whatever the field is. Whereas I'm going to teach you in the extended cut how we can put a color code here. All right, and then we're going to manually feed that. We're going to add those conditional formattings when this form loads in VBA. Right, but if you only want to do it for a couple things that you want, like regions, for example, you'd have to do one for regions checking and region savings. Let's see here. Format, conditional formatting. If we add a new rule, if we say field value is, let's say, yeah, there is no contains here. Let's see if we can do it with an expression. Expression is, how about we try account name like, and then star regions. Come here, regions, star, that. And we'll try to color those green. Hit OK. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to get all the regions in one shot. And okay, that worked. That's good. So you can do all your regions account. If it has the word regions in it, it will do that. So that's another option. But I'm going to show you something better in the extended cut. So that's what we're going to cover in the extended cut for the members. We're going to do custom color codes so you can just specify it at the table level without having to change it in design view. And we'll do it with some VBA with the form loads. And silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos, and gold members can download these databases. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.